If you look up here on the overhead panel, you've got you have a flight control panel over here with ELAC 1, SEC 1, and FAC 1. All right. Then on this side, you got flight controls, ELAC 2, SEC 2, SEC 3, and FAC 2. So as you can see, the ELACs stand for elevator and aileron control. That's what ELAC is, all right? And you have 2 over there because we need redundancy in the aircraft. So if one fails, you have a backup system, all right? So the ELAC system, okay, let me bring up the flight control page. The ELAC system, as you can see, ELAC 1 and 2. And just as the abbreviation is, ELAC is elevator and aileron control. So basically, ELAC 1 and 2 control the ailerons, all right, which are these 2 guys over here, and the elevators, all right. These are controlled by ELAC 1 and ELAC 2, all right. Now you have SEC or SEC 1, 2, and 3, all right. Now SEC stands for spoiler elevator control, all right. Spoiler elevator control, SEC 1, SEC 2, and then SEC 3. So obviously you have SEC 1 over here, SEC 2, and SEC 3. Now SEC 1 and 2 will still enable you to have control of the elevators and the spoilers, all right? Because in the event that the ailerons fail, we can still use the spoilers to manipulate the aircraft left and right using the spoiler deflection on the wings, all right? And then you've got the FAC. Now the FAC 1 and 2, that's the flight augmentation computer. Basically that's used to control the rudder for the yaw damper, and basically a lot of this stabilization comes under the pitch trim, you know, the auto trim, the pitch, the auto trim system for the pitch and everything is controlled by the FAC computer. So if that fails, we will no longer have auto trim. We'll no longer have the yaw damper, which is going to stop which basically the yaw damper essentially just as you're in a turn, it coordinates the tail and the nose of the aircraft, so you don't get a Dutch roll and you don't have the aircraft doing this and this while you're trying to turn. So that's basically what those flight control computers are for. All right. Now the beauty of the system is Airbus. Now I'm going to just show you right now how amazing the Airbus is and how much redundancy is built into this aircraft. Let's just say we lose ELAC 1, all right? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take manual control of the aircraft, all right? Autopilot coming off. And we're going to continue to try and stay on the flight director and get ourselves to flight level 350. In fact, we're going to be leveling off very, very soon. Now, as I move the side stick, all right? There we go, there's a buzzer. We got Alt Star, and I'm just gonna level us off at flight level 350. There we go. A little bit of downward motion, and there we go. Nice. Alright. Alright, we're stabilized, and we're just gonna, we need to make a turn to the right. So as you can see, I'm moving the side stick. And as I move the side stick, to follow the flight directors to get us on our nav, look what happens. As I move the side stick, the ailerons are moving, all right? As the ailerons move, the aircraft banks to the side, and that's basically how we do. That's basically how we bank the aircraft. And as we're doing that, the FAC is keeping the rudder coordinated and basically all of that. Now let's just say, within this bank, like if I command a gentle roll, the aircraft is going to only use the ailerons. All right. Now, if I command a steeper turn, we're going to need some spoilers. All right. So as I push the, you want to see that the spoilers come out. As I release, the spoilers go in. So the spoilers, they work in conjunction with the ailerons to keep the aircraft maneuvering as required. All right. Now let's just say, and of course when I pull back on the stick, you can see the elevators go up and down, and that's how we control the aircraft. Stand by. I am at a very sensitive altitude, so I'm actually at high speed at flight level 350, so the air is a little bit thinner up here, so I gotta be really careful in my maneuvering. Now, let's just stabilize the aircraft and get it to where we want it to be. All right, right there on the flight director, perfect. And as you can see, the auto trim's working, everything's working fine. Now, the flight control computers, as we know, ELACs control the elevators and the ailerons. SECs control the spoilers and the elevators as well as a backup. And then the FAC controls the fly-by-wire system, the yaw dampening, basically the stuff that helps us to stabilize the aircraft. All right. Now, what would happen if I lost ELAC 1? All right, let's go in order. I'm gonna lose ELAC 1. I'm gonna turn it off. All right, we get a master caution, ELAC 1 fault. That's because I turned it off. And look, ELAC 1 is off, but ELAC 2 is still working. And if I move the side stick, look at that, the ailerons are still working and the spoilers are still working. So the aircraft is still flyable. Everything is perfect. Not bad. All right, we're still good. We're still doing fine. All right. Now, as I stabilize the aircraft, now what happens if we lose ELAC 2? All right, so come up here, ELAC 2. I'm gonna shut off ELAC 2. All right, there's another master caution. ELAC 1, ELAC 2 fault, and because of that we've gone into alternate law and the protection is lost. So you can see we don't have the flags anymore. We can even roll the aircraft completely. But now that elevator and aileron control is off, all right, you see even the little arrows for the ailerons have gone amber, which means they're not working. So if I move the side stick, look at that, the aircraft is still moving, but we're not using the elevators. The elevators are pretty much dead right now. They're stuck in, they're just flush. They're not moving at all. However, SEC1 has taken over. The SEC1 is now manipulating the spoilers to make sure that I'm able to roll the aircraft as required. All right. So I still have full control of this aircraft. I still have my elevators. I still have everything. I just don't have the roll protection, and I still don't have, and I don't have the ailerons. But using these spoilers, I can still manipulate this aircraft. I can still keep it flying. Look, I'm steady at flight level 350. All right, now let's make it worse. Let's go ahead and shut off SEC1. Boom. Another master caution and SEC1 fault. Now, as you can see, SEC1 is offline, but SEC2 is a direct redundancy backup to SEC1. But the problem with SEC1 is when we lose SEC1, we lose spoilers 3 and 4. All right, and that's still okay. All right, because if I try to manipulate the aircraft now, we still have spoilers 1, 2 and 5 working. All right, so as I move the aircraft, look, I literally don't have to work too hard. I'm literally just able to manipulate this aircraft using SEC2, which is going to operate spoilers 2 and 5 to help me keep the aircraft nice and safe, nice and steady. Everything's absolutely fine, and we still have the auto thrust, by the way. Okay, now let's go a step further and make things even worse. So SEC1 is off. SEC2 is helping us. Now let me go ahead and turn off SEC2. And okay, now it's really angry. It gave us a master warning and it gave us a master caution. Now the problem is SEC1 and 2 also helped us with elevator control. All right, now look, when we lost ELAC 1 and ELAC 2, SEC1 and SEC2, we lost the ailerons, we lost control of the elevators, and we lost spoilers 3 to 5. All right, but we still have spoilers 2. All right, however, what we do now is, like, if I try to roll the aircraft now, look what happens. The aircraft is still rolling. I'm still able to roll the aircraft using spoilers number 2, because SEC3 gives us control over, maintains control over one set of spoilers, which is spoiler 2 and spoilers number 2 on either side of the aircraft. I have roll, but if I pull back on the side stick, nothing is happening. The aircraft does not want to pitch up. That's because I've lost elevator control. Now what do you do when you lose elevator control? As you can see, the aircraft is pitching down, I'm losing altitude. Very simple. The rudders and the pitch are connected, have a manual backup, which means if I lose the flight control computers, I can still manipulate the aircraft from here. Now I have no side stick control. Look, I'm pushing, I'm pulling, nothing's happening. All right, nothing. But I can still bring nose up, bring a little bit of nose up. Look at that. The aircraft is now climbing back again. See that there? As I can use Sec 3 to help me out. Now I'm going to just move the trim down to about 0. And you'll see the aircraft, I'm actually able to control the pitch of the aircraft using the pitch trim, the pitch wheel. As I trim it to 0.2 down, you can see the nose is coming down. Once I get to where I want to, I can bring it back to about 0 deflection, and the aircraft will stay there. And now I can use Sec 3 to basically fly the aircraft. All right. So that is how that's basically me flying the aircraft now using the trim wheel. I'm using the trim wheel to move the entire THS to help me stabilize the pitch of the aircraft, while I'm using the side stick and Sec 3 to basically work the ailerons, the pitch of the airplane. Now let's go even further. Let's take Sec number 3 out. Boom, Sec 3 gone. We have no spoilers, we have no elevator control. I can move the stick as much as I want. Nothing is happening. Look at that. All right, nothing's happening. I can still control my pitch using the pitch trim, the pitch wheel, and that's going to bring the nose down. All right, I'm going to stabilize the aircraft. I'm going to go track FPA and FD off for now, just so I can get the bird and stabilize the aircraft. But I am not able to, let me get that back. So now I'm going to pull the trim back up again, let the nose come back up, and I'm going to try and stabilize the aircraft just using the trim wheel back again. So now as the bird gently comes back to the horizon, and I'm going to stabilize it over there. All right, right there. Bring it back to about 0.2. Should be fine. You just keep playing with it until you see the changes necessarily happening. Now, I'm not able to roll the aircraft, as you can see. So what do I do to bank? Very simple. The banking of the aircraft is done. Now, when you roll the aircraft, okay, or when you yaw the aircraft using the rudders, the secondary effect of a yaw is a roll. So if you yaw enough, the aircraft will eventually tip onto its side, to the side that you're yawing. So look what happens. I'm gonna now push on the rudder, and as I push the rudder to the right, the aircraft is rolling to the right. If I push the rudder to the left, I can now stabilize. So I'm literally flying left and right using the rudders. That's how you look. I don't know if you can see it, but with my foot down there, I'm gonna push the rudder. You can see I'm gonna give rudder deflection, and the aircraft is rolling. The minute I take the rudder off, the aircraft stops. And now I can use the left rudder to bring the aircraft back. Using secondary effect on my rudders, I'm able to literally fly the aircraft using the trim wheel to control my pitch and the rudders. So you can still fly the aircraft. Now, the FAC controls the auto trim. It also controls the rudder, the yaw dampening of the aircraft, and the rudder movement limitation, which is fine, which is good. Now, what if we lose FAC control as well? Now we're going to lose the auto trim, as we're going to lose the auto thrust. We've lost everything. However, because yes, I understand. Let me bring that back there. Now, because I have lost all of the flight control computers, I can literally I'm in what we call mechanical mode now. So you have normal law, you have alternate law, you have direct law, and then you have mechanical law, which means my controls are limited to the mechanical controls. So I'm literally now flying the aircraft and stabilizing the aircraft because the rudders, the aileron trim, the pitch trim, the trim wheels, they have a mechanical connection. So do the thrust levers. So I'm literally flying this aircraft now using mechanical law. And that's what's helping me stabilize the aircraft. So guys, that's what the ELACs, SECs, and FACs do. All right. Now, if I bring back FAC 2, I get the rudder control stabilization as well, which is going to help me in the yaw dampening. And now, if I bring back FAC 1, it's going to help me out even more. I think I'll even get the auto thrust back now. So I've got the auto thrust back. Now, if I bring back SEC 3, I'm gonna get the I should get I don't have elevator control yet, but I do have aileron control, so I'm able to back the aircraft but still use the trim wheel to control my pitch. All right, now let me bring back SEC 2. Now once I have SEC 2, I have more spoilers, I have my ailerons back, and I have elevator control as well. So what I've done is I've actually taken myself massively off course. So I'm going to bring that back, set flight level 350 back there. All right, get my flight director back on, and I'm basically now using SEC 2 and SEC 3 along with FAC 1 and FAC 2. I'm going to stabilize the aircraft, put it back on the flight director, and gently put the aircraft back on track to where we need to go. All right, now let me bring back ELAC 2. Immediately I have more spoilers available now, and I have more control over the aircraft, and I got my fly-by-wire, my bank protection back as well. So all things are looking really good right now. All right, all right, less than 1,000 to go to come back to 35,000 feet, and we're going to go SEC 1 and ELAC 1 on. Now I've restored all of the flight control computers, and I can push the autopilot, and the aircraft is now going to fly perfectly fine. I have full control of the aircraft. So guys, that's what the flight controls do, and that's how you can control the aircraft if you do lose control. If you lose all your flight control computers, this Airbus is still flyable.